Welcome back to Apex Alchemy. Today in front of you is a Grayman Satu and a F&Grow EF905. This is like take 3 on the video. Both times that I've recorded previously, it's been close to 20 minutes. One was over 20 minutes. One was it was like 18 and some change. So I'm gonna try to squeeze all the information that I possibly can about these two knives without breaking out calipers and scales. Okay, so I guess I've already done it, so I know the numbers. But when I picked up the Satu, I got a couple messages from friends saying, "Hey, if you like the Satu, you might want to check out F&Grow's 900 series. Anything before that is suspect." I would still say, to some degree, there's some suspect going on with the 900 series, and the reason why is because they've had all this time, like well over a year, maybe closer to 2 years, since the new company has come in and started designing their own knives, and they're still pumping out F&Grow knives from earlier series. So like you would think, if they were completely on board with making things right with the community from when they were lying about the steel they were using, not quite clear about the titanium composition that they're using. Like, we know this is 6AL4V. We don't know what kind of titanium is involved here, but there's some huge similarities and there are some huge differences. If we take all the politics out of it, we'll just look at the knives. This is just going to be a knife comparison, and if you want a Satu but you can't find a Satu, or you can't fit a Satu in a budget, will this knife scratch that itch? Basically, okay. So the Satu, hands down, probably one of the best knives I have. As far as build construction, it's solid as a rock. Like, I think you could probably, if you could take grip onto this blade, you could probably do pull-ups on it, and not mess anything up. It is literally built like a tank. That goes a long way. I like having it around. It doesn't have the best action. It's not the best fidget toy. It's a 10-inch folding knife that is made, to be dependable and indestructible, and that's what it is. Anything can be destroyed, right? We can destroy anything we want to, but this knife, pretty tough knife. I've used it for a while, not consecutively. I just I put some time in, and it's a fun knife. It's a little bit funner to fidget with than the Satu. It's got multiple deploying methods. It has a flipper on the back and the thumb studs. Thumb studs are placed in a great area, like up here close to the edge of the blade. Oh, sorry, but yeah, it does fidget a lot easier, especially when I'm off camera. But nothing wrong with the knife as it is. I do believe it's underpriced. If they're telling the truth about everything. Scoot that over a little bit. Sorry. Try to keep them lined up as good as possible. So this is a 10-inch knife overall. It's got a 4-inch blade. This also has a 4-inch blade. It just has a little bit shorter of a handle. So this one's coming in at 9¼ inches, where this one's 10 inches overall. So this is a 6-inch handle and it's 5¼ inch handle. Both of them have 4-inch blades. The blade shapes are similar, not exact. This one has a very pronounced recurve, and where it ends here at the choil, that's going to be a pro or a con to a lot of knife people. This makes sharpening, this could make sharpening a challenge. So keep that in mind. This knife is made out of S30V. It's Chris Reeves Christ come down from the heavens and blew his air into the lungs of a regular alloy steel and created S30V. Like it, love it, hate it, leave it. S30V is the blade here that you get. You can also get these knives in 20CV, 6AL4 titanium, frame lock. Look at the other side. Very simple design. Got 3/16 inch scales on both sides of the blade. You also have a 3/16 inch blade stock. On the F and Grow, we don't know what kind of titanium they're using. They claim to be using 14C28 steel. I believe that. I've had good luck with 14C28 steel in the past, so like I can tell you if it's not 14C28, it's pretty similar. So like even if it was like 12C27 or 13C26, it's something decent. It's not junk. All right, comfort. I like the way this one fits in hand, but I do kind of like the way blocky knives feel in my hand. Like this is like just one of those slab knives, right? And I got no problem with it. I love the amount of jimping that's offered. I do. It offers jimping for days, and it's just there, and I love the way it fits in hand. I do feel like I have a lot of control. The knife doesn't feel anywhere near as big as it is when being held, but you're really got one position. I guess you could choke up here if you wanted to, but like you don't have a forward choil or anything, which the same can be said about the F and Grow. It's really it's going to be a one position knife. I suppose like this you could get two positions out of it, no problem. You do have enough space here to rest that finger there. All right, I mean if you're cutting forward, if you're stabbing into something, it's a one position knife. But the jimping feels great, feels phenomenal. It's excellently machined. No problems with that at all. Pocket clip, very standard and basic. Got a relief, got the over travel stop, or over travel, yeah. So you got some sort of pivot that I don't quite understand. I'm going to have to get Dave to school me at some point. It's not adjustable. Like if the blade center did get off, like you can't just turn the screw and Loctite it and make sure and everything go, everything be good. It's not adjustable. Like it's either fully tightened or it's being disassembled type thing. Man, there's as much as I love the knife, and I do love the knife, there's not a whole lot going on here. As far as I'm concerned, it's not, it's a pretty simple knife. It's pretty straightforward, and it does straightforward very well. All right, F and Grow. This isn't the closest F and Grow that they have to the Satu. The closest I would say would be the 906. The 906 is the exact same length. It's got a very similar blade, shaped blade, and it's a little blockier. It doesn't have as many cutouts and grooves for fingers. So it does have cutouts and grooves for fingers, but it's not exact. I did have one of those. Mr. Cam Faulkner won it on one of our live giveaways, and that now belongs to him. The pivot construction seems strong. It does. Like it's got a hole in the middle here. I don't know what's going on with this pivot either. I'm not gonna take it apart, because I screwed up every T8 that I had in the house on this screw right here. Like it turns to a certain point, then it quits turning like it's cross-threaded or something, and like that's when the head on my bit, strips out. So like really, if you want to take into the consideration how many tools I've destroyed on trying to take this knife apart, the knife is substantially more expensive. But obviously, like I didn't have to keep on trying with different tools. I'm not crazy about the pocket clip. It's junk, but I'm stuck with it. I'm not crazy about the purple ano on the back, and I probably would have removed that if I could get to it. But I may send this knife to Dopey. Dopey knows way more about these knives than I do. It'd be kind of cool to like let him anodize it and do his thing, if he wishes to. It does have an over travel stop. It's got an adjustable detent. It's made very well. There's nothing there's nothing I can complain about the build construction of this one either. It also shares the same sizes. Like it's got a 3/16 inch scale on both sides. It also has a 3/16 inch blade stock. So I can't remember. I'm gonna have to break out the calipers for a second. Okay, zero these things out. Man, I gotta get some new calipers. So the overall is 14.82 millimeters, and I did that because or 0.58 inches or 1930 seconds, and you get pretty much the same numbers over here. Not exactly, but so you got 3764, 1930 second. There we go. And that's gonna be 15 millimeters and 0.59 inches. So like it is just as thick, but like the grip profile is gonna be way more ergonomic with the F and Grow. That doesn't mean it's more comfortable to me. You know, like I do prefer the fit of the Satu, but the F and Grow is probably better thought out for versatility on hand sizes and stuff like that. This scale gets really thin here, right? So or this handle, you know, it gets thin in these areas. So like it disappears in the hand, and that will be a pro or a con to some people. I've used both knives about the same amount, and I'm happy with both of them. If we're comparing the knives to each other, you know, like I would say that if you want a Grayman Satu, but you can't find a Grayman Satu because they haven't been in production for a few years and they rarely pop up, you know, like if you know where to look, you can find them easier on forums and stuff like that, you know, and sometimes at eBay. But when you do find them, they're gonna cost you $600 or $700 now, or at least $500. You know, and that'll be a G10 scale, not a full tie version. Well, the F and Grow is readily available on Amazon. They're also readily available on eBay. There's a lot of these knives out there, and you can get them for about $68. But you get what you get, you know. And I'm not saying you get what you pay for. Not at all, especially with this comparison, because physically, build quality, you know, like if we were just rating the knife without money being involved, they're fairly similar. You know, the materials being used or being claimed to be used, like this is supposed to be titanium, this is titanium. I do prefer this one more. Yeah, I mean, like this would be my choice. But you know, once you throw the money into it, you know, you could own literally almost 10 of these to every one of those. So like to take that into consideration. I'll end with this. If I lost this knife, I wouldn't replace it. That's a God's honest truth. I'll have fun with it while it's mine. It may be a giveaway in the future. We'll send it down to Dopey, let him do some stuff to it if he wants to. If I lost this knife, I would immediately start trying to hunt another one down. If that, and I can't justify that. I can't justify the reasoning. All I can say is that I enjoy owning this knife to the point that it may be the best knife that I own in my collection as far as build construction. Is it the most used? No, it's not. It's not the one I grab for everything. This knife is like so strong. Yeah, like I mean, it feels like it's so sturdy and so overbuilt that I don't feel like I can mess it up. Where this knife, it doesn't, you know, like it does feel like it's overbuilt, and I don't know if I could mess it up or not, but it wouldn't matter if I did. You know, it's one of those knives that it's like it wouldn't break my heart, you know, if I broke it, and I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't, you know, rush to Amazon to grab another one. You know, like there would be like zero heartache for losing this knife. For losing this knife, there would be, you know. So the joy of ownership of the Satu is where the weight is and the value versus the F and Grow, and that's not going to make sense to a lot of people, and that's okay. But I enjoy owning the Grayman, and you know, I don't feel that this knife is as special. But physically, very similar builds. If you can't find a Grayman, you can't afford a Grayman, can't fit it in the budget right now, but you want to scratch that itch, I do believe the F and Grow will do just that. And I have done this as quickly as possible, and I'm still over 15 minutes, so I'm sorry. Apples and oranges, you decide. Like what would be better for you. My decision will be the Grayman, even with the cost factor applied. But that's just me, and that's what makes this knife world so beautiful and unique. Is that everybody has their own parameters, and they're free to feel exactly the way they want to feel about a knife and its prices and the whole cost of the total package. But this knife makes me feel. This knife doesn't. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You guys have a great one. We'll catch you on the flip side.